Ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. First item is approval of the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Minutes of the October 18th, 2022 board meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Agreement with City of Ottumwa for overpass study on Quincy matching funds. This is where they've had problems with the railroad out there. They want to contract with a bridge company to $6,500. The county would pay half and the city would be half to study the feasibility to see if it's even feasible to put something different than what's there. And this is agreeing that we'll pay our half of it.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. 2023 5-year program revision.
This here is a project is estimated to cost more than the actual 5-year program stated. And we had to up it. Up the amount so that we get more covered underneath our funding. And it's only for bridge funds, so it doesn't actually, it's nothing that's secondary roads.
Okay,
As you can see.
Move to approve. Second.
got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Alcoholic beverage license for Manny's Smoke Shack, October 15th, 22 through October 15th to 23. Kelly, is there any question about those outdoor service?
For the grant insurance and bond, there's no.
I don't know, because I think that comes from the Iowa Department of Alcoholic
Yeah, the
Beverages
state handles the heat.
on the second page.
Yeah, that's all for the state on all that. Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Resolution 52, 2022, the Living Roadway Trust Fund. This is for that mulcher head. We had said before to go ahead, but we had not. It has to be approved by resolution.
Yeah, it's just a technicality for them to appoint the money, the funds. Like I said, yeah, like you just said, you've already approved the go ahead on it, so this is just a technicality to have a resolution, and I'll have to submit it to the Iowa Department of Transportation, and then once they have that, then we can appropriate funds. Yeah, $15,000 for the road grant. Roadway trust fund.
Okay.
Move to the resolution.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. 2023 Weed Commission certification.
Yeah, this is the state weed commissioner sends these out every year. Every county appoints a weed commissioner, and this is just a certification that you say that I'm going to be a weed commissioner for next year.
So we usually do put that in the January meeting anyway.
This,
No,
We don't. That's
not
not
since
it.
I've been here.
Okay. Because I think we just used to approve that with the engineer.
Yeah, you do that, but the state one we just approved with this.
Okay.
So that everything goes to state all at once.
Perfect. Move to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Health stop loss renewal agreement with HC Life.
Okay, so on November 1st is our stop loss, and remember that, you know, our group health insurance is self-insured, so we have a separate transplant policy as well as the stop loss. What the stop loss policy does is we've set a deductible per individual. So you pay the first currently 130,000. And then the stop loss pays anything over and above that once the claim exceeds that limit. November 1st is the stop loss renewal. Every year we go out to bid and to all of the reinsurers basically that offer stop loss. This year we sent out bids and I think we accessed at least 6 different carriers. We started about 4 months ago and we started receiving information in the last final 30 days before they guaranteed what their premium would be for that stop loss. They asked for additional information from the plan. We provided that. Of the 6 that we contacted, 2 of them declined to provide a bid. We did receive 4 alternate bids along with our current Tokyo Marine, which provided us 2. Out of all of those proposals, the best, least cost option for the county would be to renew at your current deductible of $130,000 with no lasers. Last year, part of our agreement with Tokyo Marine was that they would guarantee us that we would be able to renew 1 year with no lasers. All of the other alternatives had 2 lasers on them and they were quite extensive. So what that means is that they were not willing to provide coverage at over and above the 130,000. They offered lasers at a higher limit.
Could you explain maybe what a laser is?
So a laser is like a carve out piece. It's a practice where they assign a higher specific deductible. So instead of everyone having 130,000, they will look at the loss history and the number of participants you have. And they say, okay, we'll give everyone 130,000 except for this. Yeah, this individual, it may be 500,000, it may be 750, it may be $1 million. It all depends on the information that they received when they went through their statistical analysis. So your current carrier provided you a quote with no lasers. So everyone has 130,000. What that means is that we, the county, can determine with certainty what your out-of-pocket costs are going to be. With lasers, you know that you may have to go up to that $500 or $1 million limit. So you really have to add that dollar amount of those lasers back into your premium in order to have what we call an apples to apples comparison.
Any questions or comments? Entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It's approved.
Once I email them and then I'll get the paperwork, I'll bring it down for your signature. Okay, thank you.
Project Assistance Services Agreement with A&J Associates. Remember when we did the courthouse contract, we contracted with A&J Associates to monitor that project. Then we did an asbestos study, and it appears now that there are enough windows that we're going to have a contract with the asbestos people, because to remove the windows, you have to be certified, trained, and the people from the window contract, they don't have employees that can do that. So we will lessen their contract by a certain number of windows, and then we will increase with the asbestos people that just did the inspection. They also do the removal. We will create a contract with them to do what Christner is not going to be able to do. What this does is A&J Associates will monitor that contract. There's no specific fee, and it could be that if they don't have any questions, we won't have to pay anything. But what he's done is given us a contract that so much per hour for himself and so much per hour for the clerk if they're needed. He'll monitor the contract for us.
Move to approve.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. 2022 Weed Commissioner Report.
Yeah, this is, kind of goes with the weed commissioner certification. It's an annual thing. The state weed commissioner sends it out to all the weed commissioners in the state. We fill it out on what we see or have seen in the county, how many letters we've sent out for noxious weed offenders, and how much herbicide that we have sprayed in the county. And this is the report of what I have seen and I've done in this last year. I just need an approval so I can submit it back to the state of Iowa.
Well, I've got a question on this category of noxious weeds. In Indian thistle, you said it's found, but not a problem. The last 4 years I've been in here, that's all I've had calls about Indian thistle.
I think it's subjective. I mean, there are problems on small scale, but those are just patches. So I put it's not really a problem because it's not, you're not seeing hundreds of acres of it. You're only seeing a couple acres here and a couple acres there. So like I said, it's kind of subjective on what you perceive as a problem. I spent a lot more time and chemical on things such as teasel than I did on Canada thistle. So that's why I deemed it as not a problem. I sprayed about, hundreds of gallons of chemical on teasel, but only a couple gallons on Canada thistle.
Move to accept the report.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Resolution 48, 2022, abating taxes.
These are, let's see, I think we removed the homestead in error whenever we did a division on the first one. And well, you do the approval on this if you want, and then I'll explain the next one.
So really what we're doing is just correcting a minor error that was made in the taxing of these two individuals.
And on, okay,
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Resolution number 47, 2022, abating taxes.
this one was, we had removed the homestead last year. So he paid his taxes in full last year, so we're giving him his credit that he would have got last year on this year's taxes as well, is his credit that he would get this year. That makes sense.
Yep.
Move the resolution.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Personnel, request for payroll approval, change of employment in motor vehicle.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi. Hi.
Opposed, say no. Request for payroll approval, new hire in motor vehicle.
Move to.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Anything else to come before the board? Any comments, questions? I will say that, we've been working probably over a year with Cargill of Eddyville to sell our bioprocessing training center. The history is that Indian Hills used it for about 18 years as a training facility. We built it, but back then colleges couldn't get funds to do it. We could. And so we built it and they used it, but now they have moved their program out to their main campus. So there's not a need for it for educational purposes for the college. However, there is a need for it for training as a training facility for that complex out there, more than just Cargill. All the entities just about use it. but Cargill runs it, and we've been trying to work out a deal before we could sell it to Cargill. And they have given me a final proposal now, and it hadn't been on the board because we give it to county attorney for review to make sure we're protected on the language. And then we'll put it on the board. They made us an offer that's it's good. I think it's good about it's going to be continued as a training facility for Cargill complex. It also provides opportunities for Cargill. At one time, they needed to increase the space for their financial offices. This creates an opportunity for them to move that. The good part is we now are going to have Cargill's footprint in Wapello County by making this.
Taxpaying program.
Yes, the building has not paid any property taxes for 20 years. And now Cargill will be paying property taxes when this is complete. And we'll have them in Wapello County. And that's really been a plus. They've used it as an excellent training facility for them, but they haven't owned it. Now they're going to own a facility in Wapello County, so we can really be proud of that. I don't know when Ruben will have that looked at. I gave it to him about a week ago. As soon as he does, we'll put it on the agenda. And I was on the phone with him this morning talking about the HVAC system and the septic and what we thought they would need to do right away. I don't think they have to do anything. Our building inspector had looked at it. Indian Hills maintenance people have looked at it. I think it's going to be a smooth transition. But I wanted to tell you that because I got the papers, but Ruben's got them.
Very good.
Anything else to come before the board?
Jerry, going back to the A&J thing you were talking about, the asbestos removal part, is that a contract that you guys already have, or is that something that you guys are gonna have to develop for the removal of that part of the project?
Well, we'll have to, A&J will put the contract together. You were here, you know, we did an inspection, cost us about $900. And they inspected, I think 15 windows. And of those, they found 4 where the caulking contained asbestos. Well, A&J determined that when 25% show, then we need to do the rest of the building. So we contracted again with the same people to come in, and they took samples of the whole building, and they found 40 some, I believe, that contained asbestos. So what we had to do is go to Christner, the one who's going to put in the windows, and say, okay, are you qualified to take out the ones that have asbestos? And they said no. If it's above a certain percent, you have to have certified asbestos people take them out. And we had some that were above. There are others that were below the percent that as long as you've had some training on how to do it, but their employees had not had the training. So then we go back to the inspector from Dubuque that said, here's what you got. Now we've asked them for a contract for the board to approve that says they will take it out. The problem we're trying to work out right now is the coordination. You know, we got one contractor that's going to put in all new windows. We got another contractor, and this guy's going to take all the windows out, except those that have asbestos. We're trying to work out how we're going to coordinate that because the windows are not going to even be ready till next spring. They're making them now. So if we went to, say, the auditor's office, do we want the asbestos people to go to the courthouse and take out all the windows and then have plywood up to the windows until the contractor gets to it? We decide that's not the way to go. We'd like to do it at least one side at a time, and a lot of them are on the north side. So they'll come in, and as they take one out and they bag it and take it to the landfill, Kristen will be able to put the new ones right in. So we're coordinating that project. And we haven't signed a contract yet because that coordination of effort has to be in the contract.
So you know, any idea when that might be or,
I can't see us starting on any of this till spring.
okay,
We want the windows ready when they pull it out. There may be a short time, a few days, when you're going from one office to another to have plywood over the window, but we don't want to go like months with it that way. So we have said the asbestos people can't come in tomorrow and take all of them out. And then wait till spring to put them in.
so how many total windows are being replaced?
Well, I say around 110, and the reason I say around 110 is because some of the windows in the courtroom, some of the people think that's 2 windows, but it's not. It's just one monstrous window with an upper half. So when I say 110, it could be 120 because some of those are just a really, really big window, but the contractor said, no, that's 2 windows, but approximately 110 windows. Anything else to come before the board? Not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?